everybody. And now it's time for us all to say hello. The children are of varying ages, and they're in that class to practice using their communication aids so they're able to communicate effectively when they move up into a more mixed class environment in Key Stage 3.
I choose...
Which person?
Alia.
Good girl, you've chosen Alia. It's Alia's turn next. Thank you, Shanice. I'm just going to move this out. Although that is their class group, they do integrate into other classes during the school week and at playtime, at dinner time and at assembly time. We feel it's very important that they do go into other classes because it's important that they learn to communicate with other people than us, possibly people who don't know them so well. This morning we did soak time, which is an activity that we do every morning, partly as a way of recognising the start of the day. It's also an ideal opportunity to practice communicating with one another. The pupils were using different forms of alternative and augmentative communication, depending on their needs and their abilities. Hayley, would you like Yasmin or would you like Kane? Which one? Kane. I think you'd like Kane to go next. Both Kane and Yasmin have a severe physical disability that means that both of them are unable to speak. So we're going to say good morning to Kane.
Good morning, Annalise.
Kane uses eye gaze. He was using a device which recognises the movement of his retinas, and he looks at a cell and then that activates it. Kane does use switches as another means of communication, but eye gaze is much quicker for him. It's much more intuitive as well, because when you're looking at something of interest, your eyes are obviously directed towards it.
Yasmin. I choose Yasmin.
Good boy, thank you, Kane. And you've chosen Yasmin. Good morning to Yasmin. Yasmin, could you use your Dynavox? Could you look at your Dynavox and say good morning? On the right page. Yasmin was using a device called a Dynavox DV4, which is set on a 2-switch scan. Yasmin is supported in her scanning by Emma to provide some stability to the hand to help reduce her spasm and to keep her hand within range of the switch. And she also uses a head switch, which she turns her head to activate. She always has yes-no wristbands because when she was younger she was unable to control her movements, and that was the most reliable form of communication. She will eye point towards them, but also with her yes she tends to do a movement of the arm. Although she has now learned to shake her head, we tend to use her yes-no armbands because it makes it clearer to people who don't know her, so that if she is moving her arm and it has a yes symbol on it, they're more likely to understand that that is a form of communication rather than just an incidental movement. Could you find your friends page for me? So you need to look at your Dynavox. Could you find your friends page for me? Can you press your hands? Good girl, push hard. And can you push hard? Move your head away slightly, yes? That's it, and now try. Hayley, good girl, that's right, it's Hayley's turn. Good girl, thank you, Yasmin, nice scanning. Okay, so we can say good morning to Hayley.
Good morning. Annalise.
Good girl. Thank you, Hayley. Well done. Hayley also has a physical disability which affects her movement, although she is able to make some sounds and she's able to vocalise yes. She uses a springboard light communication aid using her hands. She uses a key guard because she's got significant tremor, and it means that she's only able then to hit one cell at a time. And the screen is also calibrated so it has a slight delay, so that even if she presses it twice, it will only speak once. Alia is only able to exert slight pressure using her fingers, and she constantly tremors, which makes it very difficult for her to control her movements accurately. She uses a Big Mac switch to do simple messages like hello, and she is learning to use and recognise symbols. Alia does also use a couple of Macedon signs as well to indicate when she's finished, to say please and more. Alia, can you say good morning to Annalise?
morning.
Shanice also has a physical disability, although she does have quite a lot of movement. She is significantly visually impaired. She is able to use symbols as long as they're big enough. She uses a Super Talker aid, and she uses a Go Talk 9 at snack time to tell us what she would like to eat. We work closely with the parents. The majority of the AAC aides do go home as well. But we also use low-tech communication strategies, so they are able to communicate within the school, but also when they go out into the wider community, so that they can be as independent with their communication as possible. Thank you, Shanice. Can I have it? Good girl. So put Shanice's name up on the board. So Shanice is at school today. Thank you, Shanice. Good girl.